Let's get more details now from our Trisha Tirada, who joins us on the line. Trisha, good morning. Now that Mega Manila is back under GCQ, can you give us a quick refresher about what happens under GCQ?
Yes, Ria. President Duterte himself clarified that, for one, as we return to GCQ, almost all establishments may resume operations except those belonging to kids and entertainment industries. Dining and restaurants are allowed at 30% capacity, and of course, subject to minimum health standards. Presidential and ITF spokesperson Harry Roque reported that the 2-week MECQ was used to calibrate its approach. So as the economy reopens, he says we can expect intensified testing, tracing, isolation, and treatment efforts. The government reminds the public to always wear masks properly, wash hands, observe physical distancing, and wear face shields in public transport. Now, in case those who are wondering about if employees should subject or employers should subject their employees to RT-PCR when they report back to work, President Duterte himself clarified that RT-PCR tests are not recommended or required for symptomatic employees returning to work. However, for priority workers, like those in the hospital and tourism sector, may undergo RT-PCR. Same with those in manufacturing companies and public service providers in economic zones located in areas with high COVID-19 cases. Back to you.
Trisha, the president has always been consistent in his recent speeches about how vaccines are the only solution to the COVID crisis. What did the president have to say about this time around?
Well, the president has yet again thanked Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping for offering the vaccine as soon as distribution is possible. But the president clarifies we won't be getting the vaccines for free. If it will be expensive, the president says, he will ask for a credit line from the two leaders, which will be paid in installments.
Have stated time and again, repeatedly, that the only salvation available to humankind at this time of our life is if you are stricken with virus, the answer is always vaccine.
The president says all countries are experiencing an economic hemorrhage. He says, quote, it's uncontrollable because people cannot really work, they cannot be productive, unquote. Back to you.
Trisha, prior to the address, there were rumors that the president had left for Singapore over the weekend. And although Malacanang earlier denied this, can you tell us about the president's response?
Well, the president spent a good part of his speech last night to address those rumors. Basically, Mr. Duterte is also denying that he left for Singapore. If ever he has to go out of the country for private matters, he stressed that he has no reason to hide it. And even if he's the president of the country, he maintains the right to travel as other citizens of this country enjoy.
I would not be stupid to use government funds. Malalaman ng tao yan. So stop this nonsense about me going to Singapore. I said if at all. Kung gusto ko pupunta ako. Wala kayong pakialam kung gusto kong pumunta. But I will not, because under no circumstances do I have the obligation to keep it a secret. What for?
As the chief executive went on, he says if he has to fly out, normally the president will leave the post to the vice president, but he points out he will not do this. The president usually assigns Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea or Justice Secretary Maynard de Guevara to take charge. If things aren't quite good, the president says he'll, quote, leave it in the hands of the military. Probably it will be the Secretary of Defense, unquote. Back to you.
Trisha, just before the president ended his speech, he took a swipe at human rights group. What's behind the reason for the president's tirade against them this time around?
Well, it mainly has to do with the drug problem and death penalty. The president is having the sense that human rights groups aren't helping solve the drug problem in the country. He even taunts them about their job, suggesting they just go work for a few funeral parlors and count the dead. The president has been expressing discontent with the available means to punish drug suspects. Now, just to put things in perspective, in his last SONA, President Duterte urged the Congress once again to push for death penalty. Human rights groups have been actively opposing this.
Basta ang akin, isyabu is isyabu is isyabu. I do not, hindi ako nag-ano kung saan galing. It's a crime in Malaysia, lalo na sa China, it's a death penalty. Malaysia is a death penalty. Indonesia meets out a death penalty. Tayo lang ang Pilipinas maarte. Anong ginawa ninyo para sa bayan ninyo? Protecting criminal? Paying homage to the Caucasians of Europe? Itong mga puti na ito, magkano bang dollar na tinatanggap ninyo? Kung sabihin, mas Pilipino pa kayo when you enjoy prosecuting people who are doing the jobs. Ako ang takutin ninyo.
Amid the country's battle with COVID-19, the president reminds and warns that drugs destroy the spirit of the nation. Ria?
All right, thanks so much for that, Tricia Tirada there reporting.